So I don't know if y'all been keeping up with sports news, but did y'all see that Ja Morant got removed from the Nike app? So his sneakers were removed from the Nike app because, a couple weeks ago, Ja Morant was having fun in one of his trucks with his homeboys, and all of a sudden they playing that NBA young boy bouncing, and all of a sudden Ja Morant's homeboy flashes the camera towards him, and Ja's like, bang, bang. Yo, what the fuck? We already talked about that, so we're not going to cover that. We're just going to talk about what's going on with the aftermath. So this $200 million man who's, who to me, I like Ja Morant. I like his personality. I like him on the court. He jump out the motherfucking building. I love it. But he just keeps getting in trouble with some of these actions. You know what I mean? So let's put it like this, though. Lil Wayne made a very good point. Lil Wayne was like, you don't know if that motherfucker from the hood or not. Like, just because he living his rich life now, you don't know how hood he is. Everyone's like, oh, he not hood. He not this. He shouldn't be doing that. No. Lil Wayne broke it down. So let's watch that real quick.
Don't fall into that trap that these people doing on TV. Saying, because he ain't no thug. Because he ain't in the street. He ain't about that. He ain't no gang. You don't want that. How y'all know you don't want? Y'all know that boy? Do y'all know that boy? Because I don't. I know him from dunking and jumping, and I only started knowing him when I started paying attention to him around his last year of college. He come from like a town with 3,000 people. Like, what? What y'all expect? Y'all what? Y'all gave him $200 million. I just said a town with 3,000 people. You expect him to be responsible? Now we tripping then. Yeah, now we tripping. Yeah, we expecting him to be, that's magic. Because I could tell you, I come from a real well-raised, beautiful mother, nice, you know what I mean? My mama bust out and make sure everything around me was nice. And I still was a knucklehead. I shot myself.
So Lil Wayne breaks it down and says, you don't know Ja Morant. Don't act like you know him. He comes from a town with 3,000 people. There's no telling. You didn't know what he was doing with his life before he started fucking with the NBA. Most of y'all found out who Ja Morant was his last year in college. Let's be honest. We don't know what he was doing back then. And I could relate very much so because I live a very, very good ass life, yo. But people sometimes try to act like I was never from the hood. And even people I grew up with try to act like because my parents owned a little house. My parents' first house was a 950 square foot house. Let me tell you something. That whole house fits in my living room. Think about that. Really think about that. The whole house, bathroom, everything, 950 square feet. And that shit fits in my living room. So back then, my friends, I had a lot of friends that lived in the projects. I hung at the projects all the time. Shout out to all the Acres and all the AP boys at Allentown, man. I love them. I really, really love them because they had my back sometimes when I needed them the most. A lot of motherfuckers had my back, man. And I love that shit. And I would go up there on Sundays with my homeboys because we had an ill basketball team and we just play against their team because they had an ill-ass basketball team. That's what we did. But a lot of times they would act because my parents, because they own a house, that I wasn't from the hood when it was just a poor-ass neighborhood, yo. They just didn't see it yet because it looked rich to them. But to me, it was poor because I was going to schools that I would go to some people's houses, and I remember the one girl I was messing with, her parents owned like an $850,000 house. It was bananas. And this is like 95, 94, 95, 96. Think about that, yo. And the house was worth that much then. Now it's definitely a mill, you know what I mean? So my homeboy's homeboy had said some ill shit to him. They said, oh, you ain't from the hood anyway. You good. They said, listen. He said, my parents, we never knew poverty until my parents bought that house, that little bullshit ass house. Because we had to come up with the mortgage every month. We had to pay the bills every month. But when you live in the projects, your rent is $10, $15, $25. Everything is basically free. Free. But how come no one from the projects wants to talk about that? Just because your parents build up a good credit score and buy a house that's foreclosed on, and you're living in a foreclosed house and all that, doesn't mean you made it out the hood. Not yet. Not yet, because the hood is a mind state. So when everybody says John Morant's not from the hood and he's in his big ass house doing shit, having fun, I can relate. I could fucking relate because I'm doing the same shit. I'm having fun in my big ass shit. I'm smoking weed. We standing on my trucks. I'm just smart enough not to post this shit. Cause I ain't trying to attract no more attention, yo. I already look crazy in my neighborhood, yo. I look wild. I stand out like a motherfucker. Let's just say that. Just me being my age and still dressing, Jordans, Yeezys, looking good and everything like that, already attracts enough attention. So, and then when my friends come over, that's a lot of attention. Let's just say that. So I can relate to John Morant because I am from the fucking hood, yo. So I'm going to say it like this, yo. There's no telling what John Morant was doing before he came along into the NBA. Most of y'all only knew who he was at the last year of his career, or last year of his college career. So y'all need to stop with John Morant ain't from the hood and all that shit. That's whack. That's whack. Another thing that's funny, though, with the whole situation is, did y'all see that John Morant, that he wrote an apology. And they're trying to say that it was written by ChatGPT.
Skip, John's apology. I know I've disappointed a lot of people who supported me. This is a journey, and I recognize there's more work to do. My words may not mean much right now, but I take full accountability for my actions, and I'm committed to continue to work on myself. Skip, that's not how Skip, I don't know if you've ever heard of ChatGPT.
I do know what it is.
But they've been explaining it to me. You could say, write me a love letter to Ernestine.
Yeah.
And guess what, Skip? Skip, you did this. But see, you can pass it off because you were an English major. So anything... And
I know, but I couldn't because I have a style to me, and
right.
if I sent it to her, she'd say, you didn't write this.
That's not the way you talk.
That is correct.
Skip, it's an AI generated. So unless it's... Job must be the most...
A million to one coincidence? Or
No, a billion.
Okay, billion.
That job statement is
right.
verbatim
No, you're
to
right.
that statement.
I agree.
In order for an apology, and Skip, an apology is it needs to be sincere and it needs to be in your words. Because even when people give you things, Skip, when they give you statements, some of the wording needs to be in some things that you will say. It can't be all by a PR team or people going to say that's disingenuous.
Yeah.
And because Josh doesn't talk like this, everybody's looking like, what? And so the internet full of detectives. I mean, boy, look here. I don't know how there's any crime in America, but they better not put it on the internet because the internet's going to figure it out. Just like they saw that underneath Skip, the San Antonio Spurs thing. They looking up under there. Skip, Skip, he hurt. They're going to drop the hammer on him. Skip, I wish I could say, Skip, I think he's going to get 16 games, 24 games. Skip, they're going to punish him because he didn't learn his lesson. He couldn't even wait 2 months before he did something like, Skip, okay, you want go to the gun range. But I'm just trying to figure out the need, the obsession to let the world see that you told.
I see, that's why I like him, yo, because that's some shit I would do. Because if you want to hear what I really have to say, I'm going to say it like this. Not everybody likes what I have to say. So I could relate. I could just relate to John Morant. I would have ChatGPT'd my motherfucking apology too, because my apology would be like, listen here, you bitch ass motherfuckers. Y'all ain't never see a fucking gun in your life. It isn't like I'm out here with the chopper. And I could be if you want me to. This is my apology. But I'm only bringing out the 9. So y'all need to fall the fuck back, huh? I'm sorry for showing my gun. Signed, John Morant. That be my apology. So I'll get ChatGPT to write my shit too, because I'm an ignorant motherfucker when it comes to it. We can get ignorant real quick, yo. Real quick. And just because I got some money, don't mean I'm soft. It don't mean I'm sweet. But yo, John Morant, I really hope that he gets it together. I hope he figures it out. Please, I hope that Nike doesn't drop him because he's a great basketball player. I like the sneaker. Would I buy it? Nah. What do you call it? Oh, and when ChatGPT, next time, Ja, that you try to get ChatGPT to write an apology or something, make sure you erase some stuff and sprinkle your own vocabulary in there somewhere. So these motherfuckers, you under a microscope, bro. And now the microscope is going to get closer and closer. The more trouble you get in, it's getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. See, I learned how to stay out that microscope in my life, yo. I learned how to really deter from that shit. That's why I stay out of trouble and I just do my show, do my thing. When my people's got money and we out here spending this money and going to all these ill-ass places, I do it. Besides that, I'm here in the motherfucking studio, chilling with my dog and making some motherfucking videos about y'all nonsense ass motherfuckers. And I love it. This is what I do, yo. This is really, really what I do.